Okay, we're back. There was a technical difficulty. So, let's put these little units together at the machine, shall we? Now, I'm going to pick these up. You know what? I'm going to leave this here for myself. So, I will tell you, it's easier if you lay out the pieces first, because then you know what order to sew things in when you take them to the machine. Now, why am I missing a square? Because it's on the floor. All right, there we go. Okay, so take you over to the machine, and we are going to sew all these pieces together. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little unit. Now, it's going to look something like this. Remember, this is on point. We have a flat angle here, or a flat side here. And then these two big triangles. Remember, the angles were out here, pointing in, and then these two sides formed the 90-degree angle. So this creates a rectangle, the same size rectangle once you sew everything together as this rectangle. Okay? So it should be 4.5 inches long. I think it does come out to 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches once this is sewn together. Now, you have to be very precise, and I probably would sew a scant 1/4 inch on every seam, because you can end up with a block that is shorter than 2.5 or 12.5 inches. So you might want to what is going on with my machine here? Uh-oh. All kinds of technical difficulties. So scant 1/4 inch on all the blocks will ensure that you have what am I trying to say? A non-wonky block. Now this, I don't like this. You can leave that if you want to. I'm gonna cut that off and then sew this together right here, making sure I line up this side and this side. Now, if you want to, you can sew from the back, or you can use a leader. Oh my gosh. Scant 1/4 inch. Now, one way to know that you have the seam allowance correct is that your needle should come out right at the valley right there. Okay, mine's a tiny bit off, but just a tiny bit. So that's how you know you're in the right place. And then you open that up, and here you have this. Now we're going to attach these. And remember, this is the outside, so the long edges go along the side here. Okay? So, face sides down. And then you sew. Now this, I have been catching my triangle, so I'm going to put a leader in here. And then you can open that up. And this is what you have so far. And then you're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, remember the long edge goes in here, just like this. And face sides together. scant 1/4 inch. Okay, now you're going to do that unit 4 times. You open this up. Awesome. And when you open this up, you should have a 1/4 inch seam allowance down here so that when you sew this into the next block, you won't lose this point, okay? And I'm going to show you that right now. So then you take your triangle piece, and see, they should be the same length and they're the same width, okay? Face sides together, and then you sew 1/4 inch seam allowance. Again, if you wanted to do a scant 1/4 inch, feel free. Uh-oh, something's wrong with my machine again. There we go. And so I did lose that point. But it looks like I'm losing some thread here too. So anyway, you want to do that 4 times. So I didn't lose my points on any of the, well, I did lose my point right here. But you want to do that 4 times to make this unit right here. Okay. And now this unit, really simple. So once you have this unit done, 4 of these, just set these aside. Okay. Something's going on with my, I wanted to change my needle from the last project because I think my needle is getting a dull, and I should probably change it with a sharp needle. There we go, that's better. I might have to redo this. I don't really want to. Let's see. Do I have to? For the most part, it's okay. I'm just gonna kind of redo this end. You know what? I'm not gonna do it on camera. Okay, so now you have these pieces. So just take 2 at a time and feed them through. 1/4 inch seam allowance. Make sure they line up. Quarter inch seam allowance. You can do that for all of them. Oh, I hear my kitty. And then I press to the dark side on both of them because you want to nest the seams. And if you press to the dark side, that will be correct, in that the colors are going to be on opposites, okay? So then you just place both face side together, line up the seams, nest those seams, and again, you can do a 1/4 inch seam allowance down one side. And if you wanted to, again, a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance will hopefully ensure that you have, and then that you have, you know, a non-wonky, but you can see that met in the corner's perfect here, okay? Now, another thing you can do to make sure that your squares stay more square is opening up the seams. Instead of pressing to one side, you can always open up the seams, especially on these ones with you have a lot of bulk right here in the middle. You're going to open these up and flatten them out so that they sit flat like that, okay? And then if you wanted to, this one is pretty square. That's pretty square. I don't need to trim this up. But if you wanted to trim them up so they are all the same size, go ahead and do that. That makes sure that everything is square. Same with this. If you wanted to square this up, I believe they should all be 4.5 inches. Let me measure right now. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is 4.5 by 4.5. So they should all 4 of these, or all 9 of these patches should be 4.5 inches. Okay? 9 patches should be 4.5 inches. Now that you have 4 of these, and you have 4 of these, and the only thing that you have left to make is the pinwheel in the center. Okay? So grab your pinwheel. And there we go. And we're going to do the exact same thing with this. Just take 2 and line them up. So 1/4 inch or a scant 1/4 inch seam. Oh my gosh. So you're in effect making a 4 patch right here. So you actually have 5 4 patches. So open that up, and if you want to open the seams, you can, or you can just iron them over to one side. Now you line up these points in the center, and there should be enough room for a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And you can always nest the seams. You can always nest the seams here as well. Okay, so once you have that unit, 1/4 inch seam allowance or scant 1/4 inch. And here is your block. Great. There you go. Now, if you wanted to, you could square that up. Now you have all your units made, right? So all you have to do is line them up. So you have these go together, and then this goes in the corner. Okay? So you have 4 of these, one here, one here, one here, and one here. And then you have 4 of these, and the red always goes into the inside. And then once you have your 4 patches, you're going to have these 9 patches now. So these 4 patches, and then these 4 patches, okay? Actually, this is not a 4 patch. This is a 5 patch. This is a 4 patch. This is a pinwheel. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, there are 6 pieces that make up this patch, right? So then you put these together. Now you have this row, sew that row together, sew this row together. So you're sewing right here along here. So this row together. And now all you do is you sew these 2 rows together, and there you go. There is your Starfire patch for the February 2025 block of the month. So Year Full of Stars 2. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Now, remember to check out my friend Alex from Living and Crafting with MS. Living and Crafting with MS, my friend Alex, she can show you or instruct a little bit better maybe on how to do this star block. She could show you other techniques if you're having like arthritis in your hands, you're not feeling good, or if you're having other, physical challenges. She also has a machine that cuts the fabric. So she can show, there's 2 different machines that she uses, a Cricut and something else. And she can show you how to use those machines too if you have those, or if you want to make it easier. All right, so there you go, folks. Have fun making this block. I'll see you in the next episode. Check out Alex. Bye for now.